You talk about breaking bonds that hold you to an inauthentic version of yourself.
Yes.
How do we know what bonds in our life are inauthentic? Where do we even start with like working that out?
When you feel like you have to put on a certain face or pretend to feel a certain way, or when you're scared of showing your actual feelings, your reactions, your responses, that's an inauthentic bond. That's a bond that is dependent on you showing up as someone that you're not. It's dependent on you having no needs or having needs that are pretending like you have certain needs that are not actually your own. When you can't sit with the person and explain exactly how you're feeling. And it's not about, oh, I'm scared because of my own fears of being vulnerable and opening up. No, I'm saying when you are very aware that if you were to sit down with this person and express exactly how you're feeling, or express a thought or an idea, and you know their reaction is going to be to either bring you down or criticize you or make you feel like an awful person, that's an inauthentic bond. When you have a major win in your life and you are very aware, based on past experiences, this person is either going to downplay your win, not celebrate your win, or make it seem like, yeah, it's, it's you. So of course, but they don't actually feel that happiness and joy for you. That's an inauthentic bond. And I guess it would help to define what an authentic bond is, and everything else will fall to the inauthenticity side. An authentic bond welcomes authentic you. And authentic you isn't perfect you. It's not, I can courageously be myself at all times. Authentic you is also struggling you. And it's also weak you. It's also vulnerable you. It's also changing you, going through transitions. If someone in your life can only be present with you when you show up a certain way, and we all know that feeling right before you enter into the room where that person is, you kind of have a couple of seconds with yourself and you take a deep breath and you say, I can do this. It's like you are taking off who you really are, or you are putting on an image of
or
who
mask
you know.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they want to see, and that's not an authentic bond because it doesn't welcome your authentic self.
What if someone listening has or feels they have an inauthentic bond with someone they genuinely care about, like a parent or a sibling? That's hard because it's not someone you want to just cut out of your life. What advice do you have for those people in those tough situations? Or, I mean, it could even be a friend, right?
I have an analogy. Go ahead.
No, yeah. It's just, it's a, like you're in a rock and a hard place. Like, maybe they're not bringing out the most authentic version of you, but it's also not a case of choosing to just not have them in your life.
Yes. Two things can be true. You can care deeply about someone, and it is not 100% your responsibility to keep the bond with them. So caring for them and loving them genuinely doesn't mean that you carry on your back the responsibility of keeping them in your life or keeping them happy. The analogy that I use for this is if the two of you are at opposite ends of the bridge, if you're constantly the one who has to cross over to them, which means you are constantly the one who wants to make sure that they're happy, or constantly the one who wants to make sure that they feel cared for. You are always the one who goes back on your changes. They're not willing to move toward you to see you for who you really are. Then that's not, maybe that's the relationship where you don't burn the bridge. The bridge is always there, but they have a choice to cross over to you. If you're always the one crossing over to them, that's not a relationship. That's not a two-way street. That's you feeling a sense of I really want to make sure this person's okay. I really want to make sure this person stays in my life. Well, what happens when you stop trying? Do they try? Because a big part of choosing the people who are good for us and the people who we want in our lives is, do they want to be in my life? Is their care just through words or through, we're family, so of course I'm always going to care about you. So is it just something we say, or is it shown through action? So if there's someone in your life that you really care about and you're finding a difficulty leaving them behind because you're making these changes and they're just not budging, they're not willing to either support you or to show up for you in the way that you need them to show up for you, two things can be true. You can deeply care for them, but still decide to not constantly try to pull them towards you, because that's also a heavy weight to carry.
Yeah.
There's one other thing that I wrote about in The Only Constant that I think is really powerful, and it's, you always have to remember that your choice to change something in your life is not a choice to hurt the people in your life who don't want that change for you. Like, those two are different things. But you think, if I make a change that they are not okay with, then I am directly to blame for the way they're feeling. No, you're not. You are making a choice for yourself. You are not choosing to hurt them. It's on them to deal with the discomfort of you changing. Should you sit with them and explain and soothe their insecurities or the way that they're feeling? Sure, if you care about them, of course, you can sit with them and say, I understand how scary this is. You saw a certain path for me, or you and I have been in a relationship for 10 years and now I'm making this change and it probably scares you. What if I walk away? I see that. And I'm giving you my assurance from now that I will communicate. I will, nothing changes between us, and if something does, I will talk to you about it. Sure, you can do that, but don't carry the responsibility of the way they're feeling about your change, your personal change, and try to go back on yourself just so that they don't feel the pain.